Shalom. We're back. We're back. It is time to discuss Thursday night football. Unfortunately, Thursday night football. It's not Tuesday or Wednesday night Champions League. We're stuck in the hellfires of Europa League football. Sad, sad times for sad, big, uh, totally big, sad Man United. But hey, what can you say? You're in it to win it in Europa League, and this is another game to pick up points and get us up the table in the league stage or league phase of the competition. So let's go making things happen. And it's a weird looking name. It's a weird looking name. It's like Plzen, but it is Pilsen in Czechia, not Czechia, Czechia. Czech Republic, and it's an away day. It's an away day in Europe, and Manchester United will travel to Pilsen, where we will be playing for the points. But most importantly, we'll be playing just to win a game of football, because we're on a spin of 2 losses at the moment. It's 2 losses, not good, not good. We want to win. We need to be winning because we've got Man City on the weekend in the league. And the last thing we really want to have happen is get absolutely ran over after disappointing midweek. So we want to right the wrongs and hopefully put in a strong enough performance to get the fans on side with potentially stirring an upset against Manchester City on the weekend. By which point would be glorious. Would be glorious for Manchester United to get 3 points off of a now apparently 130 charge Man City, which is not great reading if you're Manchester City, because usually with things like this, you see the charges go the other way. They're meant to get less because they're dismissing them as they go. Because, yeah, that charge is a bit silly. That charge is a bit silly. Yeah, we'll check all of those ones off. So the numbers are meant to be getting smaller, but for some reason, they've extended them now to 130 charges. So the Premier League, the FA, whoever, are absolutely going balls to the wall with this. Like, they're not backing down. They're in fact, they're adding things onto it. They're adding layers onto this. It's like a wedding cake. You're adding more layers to it, but you don't stop. It just never stops. But so yeah, that's Manchester City. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Probably a preview for that on Friday night. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But for Pilsen on Thursday, this is the time, and big question marks about what the feeling of the team is going to be, what the feeling of the squad's going to be, because with the craziness, the madness that's been going on this week, where the club has sort of had its ownership start baring its teeth at everybody. Don't even flinch, don't blink at Manchester United, because somebody in the hierarchy will probably threaten you with the sack. So it's happy hour for the P45 department at Manchester United, and of course people are relatively unhappy, but thank you. People are relatively unhappy at the club, it seems, and their hearts have been broken. They've been broken by this £100 Christmas bonus that they will no longer be getting, and will instead be receiving £40 gift vouchers for Marks and Spencers. What will they ever do? What will they ever? What could they possibly ever do? Me busting my ass at Christmas time, I don't really see big bonuses. Maybe I'll get time and a half, right? So I'm not really in the field where I get to have a a comfy position where I get to sit back and just have all the money come to me. I'm having to bust my ass and not really get a huge amount in return for it. So that's where I'm at. That's my situation. So I don't know what it's like to have a £100 Christmas bonus get stripped away and get something else in instead. That's a little less money, but hey, it's at least they're giving you something, right? At least they're giving you something, and maybe, where the fact that the staff at Manchester United are disgruntled by this, and somebody quoted, "Oh, but even the Glazers actually gave a damn about our families." I'm like, my guy, you work full time at a football club. You probably earn a fairly respectable wage in the specific line of work that you're in. Um, and yeah, you still get something from your bosses over Christmas, and you're whining and crying about it. Sorry, but the club you work for has been in the fucking shitter for the past 10 plus years now. It's really been fucking dismal. If you haven't noticed it, just thought I'd point that out to you. Your club has been in the shit. Our club has been in the shit for 10 plus years now. Maybe think about that before thinking about my Christmas bonus isn't as much money as it was before. You still get bonuses. How about keep doing your job, keep working hard, and hey, when the club gets out of the worst financial state it has ever been in, clubs have gone bankrupt for a lot less. Don't forget that. A lot less. The financial situation at Manchester United when Ineos came in was so far off the charts. It was that bad. It was off the charts. Literally, record revenue, yeah, record revenue, and still taking net losses. How is that fucking possible? How is that possible? Like, that is actually mental. Hundreds of millions coming in. Oh, but we're spending hundreds of millions every single quarter or something, or year. That's fucking mental. That Manchester United is leaking money, leaking it. So hey, maybe, just maybe, the decisions, you don't have to like them. You don't have to like them. But here's the truth: the club needs to be saving money. It needs to stop throwing money at stupid things. It needs to stop flushing money down the toilets. You need to stop. You need to stop. Michael Jordan, stop it. Get some help. That's the club economics for you. It's dying. It was choking alive, being strangled to death by the unhealthy habits, spending habits of this club. So many players with such astronomical wages, and not to mention the amount of players, like, and quite a few players from what I've seen, have suddenly, now that Dan Nashor's gone, have gone from a oh, the club is not interested in selling this player to suddenly, oh, yeah, we 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 don't think this is going to work out with this player at all now. So up for sale, taking offers, accepting offers, place your bids. Rashford, one of those players that Man United are now looking to sell, quite possibly officially now. And I'm all here for it. I'm seeing people say it would be stupid for us to sell Rashford. It would be stupid of us to sell Rashford. Yes, it would be stupid of us to fix our club's problems. I'll complain about it all the time. I'll say, yeah, this club needs to really sort its stuff out, but don't fix don't fix any of the problems. We need to fix the problems, but don't do it. Does anybody else in the chat or watching understand that? Does that make any sense to anybody? Can't imagine it does. Can't imagine it makes much sense to anybody whatsoever. So make of that what you will. Wag one, Donna Cullen, looking very sassy today. Well, I'm committing a heinous crime, right? I'm wearing a Coke shirt whilst drinking Pepsi. So I'm doing all manners of unnecessary evil, maybe. Wagwan, Wagwan, Anthony Herbert. Fuzzy, don't let Pepsi Pack see your T-shirt. Um, I'll decorate my entire rig to be Coke sponsored for Wednesday, for tomorrow night. Just absolutely rig it with Coca-Cola everywhere, and put anti-Pepsi all over the place as well. Fuzzy, I read that Ralph Rangnick might be coming back to be in the boardroom. Thoughts on this, Fuzz? Um, I am not certain that that's true. I don't necessarily think that's true, but I would love it. I really would, because for a club that needs to be cutthroat with its players, and the funny thing is, right, is Rio Ferdinand, very, very based comment. Very base comment, right? No cap comment. Man United, he hopes that Man United have the same ruthlessness for some of these shit players. And I quote, dropped the S bomb on that. Just quote. Yeah. I hope they get rid of some of these shit players. Rio Ferdinand's had enough, guys. Rio Ferdinand, he's had it. He's calling it a day. You know, he's fed up with keeping up appearances and being in people's good books. Now the gloves are off for Rio Ferdinand. They're off. He's let them know. He's let them know what he really thinks about them, and we agree. We agree with this. I agree with the sentiment. You know, show some of that ruthlessness for some of those players that fans don't want to see sold. Get him gone. Alejandro Garnacho is another one. Sell him. Dalot. Real Madrid want him. They think that Man United could be tempted with 45 mil. I could be tempted with less. Don't know about Man United and Ineos, but I hope they do take a £45 million bid if it comes in. Earmarked Ericsson and Anthony. Ericsson for an early departure. Plans were to see him leave in the summer, but they might let him go this window. They might let him go this window. They probably will. Anthony earmarked just to sell him to get a bit of money in. No chance of Casemiro going because no one wants him. Literally, like zero interest from the market in Casemiro. But Lisandro Martinez, another name that's been linked with that exit door. If teams are interested, Man United have not rejected the idea of a sale of the player. Well, there you go. Everybody, every single player at this club is perceivably up for sale. We're back here again. But the only difference is that there's no Dan Ashworth essentially to control the flow state of players coming and going, right? So the players perhaps that we could have seen sold in the summer that weren't sold, maybe because of Dan Ashworth, will now be sold. So I'm looking at guys like Rashford potentially going. I'm looking at Christian Eriksen going. I'm looking at Anthony going. You know, those three names right there are players that we would heavily consider have been sold in the summer, which didn't happen. So there's three players that are deadwood there, and something else that we can speak about with Alejandro Garnacho as a player that I would definitely be willing to let go. And people might say, but he's still a kid, 20 years old. He's still got a massive future ahead of him. Oh, he can still develop, and it's like the guy doesn't really want it, right? He doesn't really want this, the challenge or the fight to be a Man United player. He doesn't really want it, but not just in terms of what he's doing on a pitch. Am I not satisfied with, but the behaviour off of it too. Now, when we talk about player cultures, we talk about players taking the piss, players taking liberties, players having power, and really causing issues for teammates, for the club officials, and all of that. And one thing that we can very much lay out on the table, obvious as clear as day, Garnacho doesn't necessarily have discipline on his media front. He doesn't have discipline. Like if he's pissed off with something, someone somewhere on social media is going to very much see a paper trail of Garnacho and his emotions. So if a teammate screws something up, you will see he's liked a slanderous tweet about somebody. He's liked a slanderous post or a slanderous comment. So we know how Garnacho handles his business, but all I'm gonna say is that a certain news front that's very well versed in early team sheet leaks and the leaks of what goes on inside the club, inside the dressing rooms, private conversation, little snippets, little, you know, feedings from that certain area of the club. That there are certain links out there that hit very, very, very close to home. And I'll tell you what, if the club know what we've seen or have seen what we've seen, um, I'll tell you this, right? I'll tell you this. Garnacho could be in all sorts of trouble. All sorts of trouble. Like if the club does its due diligence and investigates a matter, sees what's going on, where are the leaks coming from. Journalists won't tell us where these leaks are coming from, but you can lead quite an obvious paper trail between a certain Twitter or social media publication or an account that posts its media and how directly linked to this specific footballer and family or that is involved with. So yeah, I'll let you guys go and have a look for that one yourself. Which obviously is quite obvious that it's to do with Garnacho, but I'll go let you guys go and find out what that link is till the sun dies. Well, you're not going to be around when the sun dies, so best of luck to you. Tont gone live with the West Ham fans. He said Loppy could do a good job this season. He just needed time. I couldn't believe. I beg this not be true. Floppy Tot. It's not going to be Floppy Loppy anymore. It's going to be Floppy Tonty. Floppy Tony. Floppy Tonty. I prefer Floppy Tonty. Can't be. Yeah. You are so cute, dog, as well. What? That makes no sense. Place called Fuzzington. Yeah. Till eternity. So it won't live for eternity, or live until eternity. Okay, cool, cool. But hmm. So Dan Ashworth's departure supposedly causing a bit of a stir, a bit of a ruckus amongst not just players but people at the club. You know, a lot of people just got a whole hell of a lot more nervous at the club, and you can see it. You can absolutely feel it. Every story publication coming from the club, people are genuinely nervous about their job. So there you have it. So obviously, the mission statement has cranked a lot of people into gear now at the club. So I'm looking forward to see what impact this has mentally on people. The players, I think, are about to learn how just how ruthless I suppose Ineos will be with the players. Since what looked like Dan Ashworth was the cushion, they have now got to deal with there not being any cushion there. So no director of anything to lessen the blow, or to try and keep certain players in certain positions at the club. Um, we could see a very, very cutthroat approach, very cutthroat, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see um, loads of players that people thought were too comfy getting the absolute shit exposed out of them. I can't wait for it. I think it's this to me has to be essentially the silver lining um, in this cloud of uncertainty with the decision of Dan Ashworth's departure. Um, who comes in? For me, I personally think the best decision here is to go get another director of football that does stand in line with the sort of work that Ineos are going to need to do here. So, would Ralph Rangnick be that sort of a person? Would Campos be that sort of a person? Who else? Who else is out there that could potentially come in and do that job? I think it was Berta from or Barta from Atletico Madrid. I can't remember what his name is, but it's one of the two. Um, so whoever it is that comes in, for me, I think externally get someone who's really well versed in the European market and one that's got a good track record to him, and bring him in. But even if that doesn't necessarily happen, the two other people that could potentially take up the mantle, you've got Christopher Vivell, that's there currently, and also Jason Wilcox. Um, so there's quite a few things. There's quite a few things, but I think the next phase, the next step of this Man United project is to really punch the ever loving shit out of the out of that squad. Really rip things up and make players panic. Make them make the shit. I want to see absolute chaos in that dressing room. Nobody knowing what's going to happen to them. Nothing, none whatsoever, because that's going to be the absolute most humbling experience for a Manchester United player after years of asserting control of player power over managers and club officials. No more. The culture dies with this cutthroat mentality from the board. It dies and it doesn't come back. Players no longer control the club. The club controls the club. Yeah, Manchester United is its own entity. You're not Player FC, you're a Manchester United Football Club. So I want to see where these players no longer have their feet on the ground. I want to see them feel absolutely helpless. That they feel like I've no control of my career anymore. I absolutely like I need to find stability here. The only choice I have, the only choice I've got is to find levels I've never achieved before at this club. The comfort zone's gone, removed completely. You either swim or you sink, or better yet, you're holding on to the zip line, or you can just let go and just drop into the lava pit below. Your choice is yours. Footballers, players, the choice is yours. And honestly, I want to see the culture that has disrespected this club for so long finally be killed. The culture that has pissed off fans and disrespected fans for so long will finally be killed. And just the morality, the fact that you play a professional sport in a competitive competition. You know, you're competing week in, week out, day in, day out. You know, the aim is to be the best. The aim is to win trophies. The aim is to be better than everybody else. You know, finishing second place equals the equivalent to first place loser in the league format. Yeah, you don't win trophies for finishing second place, and the winnings, the silverware count, does not change between second and 20th. It doesn't change. The amount of money a club gets changes, but that has no relevancy to the acumen. Trophies is the factual based metric of football, and that is the truth. Whether you like that truth or you don't like that truth, the truth is the truth. It's undeniable. It's completely undeniable. And the best part is, it's not necessarily subjective either. So you can't make up your own truths when it comes to talking about a club being good or bad, whether they win trophies or not. If you win trophies as a football club, good. If you don't win trophies as a football club, bad. Certain clubs, certain positions, yeah, it's a lot harder to win a trophy in one club than it is at others. Of course there is. Of course it's going to happen. But it doesn't stop the club having the ability to do what is necessary to put yourself into a position where winning the silverware, winning the trophies, becomes a lot more likely. So Manchester United, I want to be one of those clubs that sets the example of that, where no amount of money or spending, just wastefully throwing everything at a project and no education behind it gets you absolutely nothing. You know, a few cups here and there, but we had good managers that got us over the line with that. But since that point, we've not really established ourselves as a top team. You know, league form, 13th place, the 13th for a reason. 13th for a reason. So make of it what you will. Make of it what you will. For me, so yeah, for me, it's all about getting our club back. And I'm not talking about no Daniel Levy nonsense. So we got our Spurs back. Yeah, your Spurs are back in the gutter, mate. Absolutely in the gutter. I don't want to see anybody say we got our Manchester United back until we've won a Premier League or a Champions League. You know, we haven't got a Manchester United. I associate Manchester United to winning trophies, winning the Premier League more specifically. So Manchester United ain't back, guys, until the Premier League is lifted at Old Trafford. It's as simple as that for me. As simple as that. Just seeing more confirmation. People following up on that Ruben Amorim was open to selling Ericsson and Anthony in January. But yes, as far as Thursday night is concerned, um, I wouldn't say it's the toughest game in the world, but it's Europa League, and teams all over the competition can provide you with challenges or banana skin, cautions. You do need to take considerable care in every game, and Pilsen, I think, will be there to cause all sorts of problems. And I got to be honest, I think, as far as I'm concerned, or FC Victoria, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to Thursday night, nothing less than a win shall be accepted. Nothing less than a win. And it's a bit like the perception of Bodo Glimt, right? Similar idea. Um, for me, I feel like a three, a 3 goal margin is what I would probably look to target here. Score quite a few goals, or aim to score quite a few goals. Aim to build confidence in the team and get people a bit more lively, a bit more fired up for Manchester City. Because if all things considered, I want to see us go on to beat Manchester City this weekend. I really, really don't. I really, really do. I mean, um, and yeah, I think for as far as Pilsen are concerned, they do a fairly good job from what I've seen in the Czech league. But to be honest, not really at levels of the Premier League. I think even the worst Premier League team would probably um, give Pilsen a really, really tough game. But apart from that, like, no general disrespect to Pilsen, but I mean, you can't really say much in the way of Pilsen by saying, oh well, Pilsen, they're really great team, fantastic team. Like, let's be real, they're not fantastic. Like, in their league, they are very good. They are very, very good. But in the grander scheme of things, not really all that. Not really all. They're not. They're not all that. To be honest, um, trophies are important. We won't see one for a while. Well, depends really. I mean, this is the thing, Anthony, with the Arsenal Football Club is, for as long as a club doesn't think about winning a competition or winning trophies, will dictate how long a club goes without winning a trophy, right? Tottenham Hotspur don't think about winning trophies. They don't win trophies. Arsenal don't really think about winning trophies. They don't. They don't win trophies. There's loads of clubs, loads and loads and loads of clubs that really don't think at all about winning trophies. They just think, well, just win as many games as you can. Play some good football. Um, Keep fans happy. Well, if fans are happy, then there's no need to do any more. Manchester City are a club that talk about trophies or think about trophies. They win trophies. Liverpool, for all of their stingy business, think about trophies. They do think about trophies. And what do you see? They go on and win trophies. Not as often as perhaps they should be, but they still do. It's like they want to win the race, but they want to do it with the handbrake on. Obviously, you're not going to win many races, but you still win. You still win once or twice because the other racers probably crashed out or their car doesn't start. So you'll probably find a way to win, but you're not going to do that very often. But still, it's all about what your club takes seriously and what your club thinks about. And if you think about trophies, you're more than likely going to end up winning trophies. You are. We have Monaco. Hope we win. You probably will. You probably will win. But I've got to be honest, that performance against Fulham, I mean, Jesus Christ, that game was boring. It was really, really boring. But, a Marco Silva Fulham team is not going to play scintillating stuff. It's not. But, Jesus Christ, the lack, I think the lack of intensity in open play is so damning. So damning. Because if you've got a team that you play against, right, that plays a high press, that limits the amount of time you spend down their end of the pitch, and if they recycle possession, that's your forte in set piece, right? Set pieces to getting in, gone, right? And that's the biggest problem, I think, for an Arsenal team like this, is that sure you can rely on scoring goals from corners and stuff, right? Or free kicks. But past that, open play, chance creation, intensity, directness with your possession, you know, working hard to create good chances, not just any old chance, but a good chance at that. I think Kai Havertz is not really playing like a creator. He's playing like a finisher, but he's not very good at finishing. It's like he's focusing on essentially his weakness when he should be focusing on really getting the best out of his creativity. Um, and that's why I think you need a striker that's good at finishing, whilst everybody else around him does the creating. Um, so yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think. Question, Fuzzy: have your thoughts changed on Xerxes? Not, not really. I still think for a guy that's only recently come in, I think there's still something there to be said about him. Again, going back to confidence in front of goal. If Xerxes confident, I think he's got quite a good level of ability to actually finishing his chances. But I think it's more everything else is all round game, right? And if it's something that you see in a striker, and you've got to measure strikers like this in the modern game, if you can't put the ball in the back of the net yourself, you can damn sure help out your teammates to do what you can't do on the day, right? So what else can a striker bring to the table? What else can your striker do that benefits the team? And for me, Xerxes does have qualities that he can use to benefiting the team or the players around him if he has not got goal scoring boots on. Højlund, I think, is a little more sort of like a finisher rather than a creator. So, of course, when you see Højlund not scoring goals, he doesn't really offer a huge amount in other areas on the pitch. You have some talent in your team, Fuzz, but they're just not bringing it to the table. I think certain players do, right? Certain players we've got are very talented. I think Garte is very talented. I think Ahmad is unbelievably talented. Um, I think Mazraoui, supremely talented. I think Delict is, yeah, he's good. He's very good. Malacia, very technically sound, quite neat and tidy with the ball. Just needs to make the right decisions and execute the final delivery, but he's a good player. But there are other players that I think we've rated them as good, but then we've seen recent form sort of give us that dilemma where it's like, but are they really that good? Are they really that good? It's like Rashford. All he had, like when he was initially dropping stinkers, biblical stinkers, at least he still had pace, right? Well, then he lost his element of pace. Then he lost his element of unpredictability, and then we just got a Rashford that's just there. He's just there, but he still carries the image of Mr. Manchester United, and it's so disjointed and so disconnected from the reality of the situation. And the fact is that it's been one of the biggest PR spins out there. The fact that he can put in such terrible, terrible performances, and not just game to game, we're talking seasonal average. The seasonal average performance for him is so bad, hilariously bad, right? People still are wrapped around his finger. Please don't sell my beloved Marcus. Please don't do it. You would be really stupid. You'll regret this. If you sell my Marcus, you'll regret it. You'll regret it big time. Yet the only thing you're going to regret, right, is when the Rashford replacement comes in. You will watch one game, just one game it will take you to sit there and say, I regret not replacing him sooner. Wow. Well, that didn't take long, did it? And that's literally what it's going to be. That's all it's going to be. The Rashford replacement. It'll take you one game to realise what you were missing. And Garnacho ain't all that much better, by the way. He ain't all that much better. He doesn't fit the system that his manager, in terms of the role, he doesn't fit the role that his manager wants him to play. Like past that, what else? What else? One of the left wingers, though I felt like his attitude at the time stank, you can't deny the ability of one Jadon Sancho. The guy looked like he had that sort of like Messi like aura, right? And you laugh at that. You will laugh at that. But what I mean, when I think about Messi aura, I think about that player every time he gets the ball. Jesus Christ, he's going to absolutely rip this defender a new one. Every single time he has the ball, I feel like I'm about to witness a player's career get ended in embarrassment, in shame. Like against Tottenham, every time he got the ball, I was just like, oh my God, he's going to absolutely wreck Porro. And to be fair, he dominated that side of the pitch. A lot of people giving plaudits to Enzo Fernandez, and don't get me wrong, he had a very good game against Spurs. But for me, Jadon Sancho, talk about star player. That right there is a star player. The fact that the pre-agreement on the purchase in the summer is fixated at £25 million. Let's be honest, with the performances he's putting in, if we were able to decide what we would sell him for, we could easily sell him for 60 to 70 million quite easily. And I'm very sure Chelsea would probably pay that for him. They probably would. 60 to 70 mil. Because the impact he has, the star power he possesses. Jadon Sancho, and in that Chelsea shirt, is doing all the things that Marcus Rashford should be doing for Manchester United, and we don't even see half of it. We don't even see half of it. Like, genuinely crazy. Hot Fuzzy Redknapp. What the fuck is going on with your club, mate? Like, what the actual fuck is going on? I don't know, Redknapp. I don't know, Fuzzy Redknapp. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm hoping that through all the chaos, we see clarity. And clarity coming in the form of a cutthroat club that has put the days of being taken for granted behind them and works hard to ensure that the mistakes of the past are never to be repeated again. Big up Fuzzy, big up Ravi. Fuzzy, I keep telling United fans that Rashford isn't good enough like lots of the rest of these bums. And you would be right on that, Ravi. You would be right, but we've got apologists at the club. The same people, and it's no coincidence that the low IQ fans, very low IQ fans, will sit there week to week complaining, oh, this is unacceptable. The performances are really, really crap. Oh, I think the reason why we're so bad is because of the players, but I don't want to sell any of those players because God forbid I do that. Maybe they'll come good if they go to another club. Yeah, mate, that's how it works. That's how it works. If a player doesn't do it for you, maybe they'll do it for somebody else, but that's not for you to decide. That's not for you to decide whether they do it better for another club. It's for you to decide whether you put a stop to the bullshit that they do at your club. That's what you get to decide. Not not with every other club. Your club. So if I'm playing for Manchester United, right, and I deliberately score own goals, right? But because I'm such a heartthrob in Manchester and I've got a mural painted somewhere, I mean, some of these top Reds would probably still argue their case that I should stay. Whereas everybody else that has more than two brain cells would say the guy scores own goals, guy. He scores own goals deliberately. You'd get rid of somebody who does that because they take the piss. Because you think about the club before the player. The player are paid employees. Nothing comes more on the factor of importance than the club. And if a player is what's damaging your club and holding your club back, shed the dead weight and focus on the more important things. Getting players in that have that have the talent, that have the want, that have the drive, and do not possess the bloody ego that they are literal gods, right? And do absolutely jack to prove it. Seriously, PR merchant in Rashford's team working in overdrive 24/7. Every time that he puts in a stinker, they put out a post saying, "Oh, my commitment to the club is it's not it's nobody else has more commitment to this club than me." Even though I was the worst performer on the pitch every single week, but no one works harder for this club than me. It's like, seriously, shut up. Shut up. Sunderland 0, Bristol 1. Come on, Reds. City till I die. Oh, yeah. Who scored for Bristol City? McNally. George Earthy on the pitch. Why didn't United cash in to PSG 70 million for Rashford? That is the question. Why did we not sell him? Why did we not sell him? I don't know if PSG were actually interested or trying to buy him for 70 million. I know last summer that was a very heavily talked point, spoken about point. And of course, PSG being the club, we wanted to think that easily get 70 million. But I think having quite a high price point on Rashford, maybe from Ineos, thinking, well, we came into this club deeming Rashford as this star asset. Well, let me tell you this. Ineos have just spent nearly half a season watching Rashford, barring scoring one or two goals, stink it out. Really, really stink it out. Putting woeful performances on a football pitch. And they have had enough. They have had enough. They are going to get rid of this guy. They are going to. He cannot stay at this club for a minute longer, and Ineos know it. They know it now. They've sussed it out. They've looked at this asset and thought, he is not Mr. Manchester United. He is Mr. I think I'm bigger than my shoes actually are. I'm too big for my own shoes. As you're not silly, you know Amorim has to be backed and get the players he needs to make United great again. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fully agree with that. I think Amorim should be backed before any single player in that dressing room. I mean, fuck it, sell Bruno if you have to. I would let go of Bruno before I'd ever question Amorim. Ineos out already. It said early fuzz, hot doors, football team. God. Don't know. From that picture, I'd look like the third Chuckle brother. First, can I ask, can United afford to get players with a stadium rebuild? Probably, yeah. Yeah, I'd imagine so. Because I wouldn't look at it. I think the club would be completely self-sustainable, but what they're looking to do is have it be financed by, if they do opt to go for this route, would be financed by Ineos, plus Sir Jim Ratcliffe, plus then the council. So it'd be like a community centre, like a community arena, like as people call it, the Wembley of the North. It would literally be just that, but it would have partial ownership of the grounds by Manchester United Football Club, which means that without needing to pay for the stadium through club accounts, Ineos have their own accounts that they can finance for the building of, and then potentially Ineos, with their links to the account, can transfer the ownership to the Ineos group in charge of Manchester United, meaning it becomes a new Manchester United asset. At least that's how I think they would probably do it. Are United more skint in debt than we might understand at this point? Well, in debt, yes, absolutely in debt. In terms of skin, probably not so much skint, but definitely in debt. But that's the problem. Is that we're in a situation where we are very, very quickly heading towards being skint, which is why you see all of the cost cutting exercises all over the club. And everyone's hating it. Everyone's like, oh, this is so inhumane. So inhumane. I'm sorry. But these people who work for this club want their jobs. Well, guess what happens? When you're. This is the thing, right? What's better? You maybe having a job or keeping your job, or you definitely not having your job for that much longer. You'd rather take the chance that you maybe have your job, right? So, with merit and effort and desire and drive, you'll keep your job. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just really push yourself. Really, really push yourself. And you'll get rewarded. You'll get rewarded with more than you bargained for. However, if you just continue down the path of spending stupid and running the club into administration territories, then yeah, you'll potentially just not have a job, full stop, and then everyone will be fucked. A lot of regular folk are being laid off, whilst Casemiro stinks out the pitch every weekend at 300k a week. Well, they'll fix that. They'll fix that. And Manchester United contrary to belief, I do believe need to streamline the club. This weight, like it's such a ridiculously bloated workforce. It really is. So of course, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. Welcome to the world of business. You know, as a business-based entity that operates as a football club, you know, cost-cutting exercises are generally a thing that happens, especially you know, entities that are in net negatives despite record revenues. Oh yeah, I can't expect that any team in the UK or Europe will pay full price for these bums. Absolutely. If United are in debt, why are they giving criminals like Mount big money? Thinking of giving G Bruno big money that don't make any sense. Well, I think Bruno was a mistake. I don't know whether it necessarily be Ineos. I think that's probably Dan Ashworth thing. I think Dan Ashworth probably sided with Ten Hag, backed him, and wanted to give Bruno the new contract and sort of the maybe some loyalties. Um, Mason Mount was Glazeronomics, right? It was the same summer that Richard Arnold, Dick Arnold, decided he would introduce the no twats policy or something. You know, the no bullshit policy. Oh, we won't be taken for mugs. Then they then proceeded to be very much taken for mugs. So that tells you everything you need to know about them. But this current board, the current guys, that's why they got rid of Ashworth, because probably didn't sell the players that Ineos wanted sold. He didn't reduce contractual structures in the football department. Right, we're still paying astronomical wages and still put a player onto astronomical wages. As well as that, the players that are brought in, some of them not so hot. So I think Dan Ashworth didn't have a bad summer. I don't think he had a bad summer, but it's not the summer that Ineos wanted at all. And I think because I think it was just a whole plethora of different things that Ineos were documenting Ashworth doing, and they were just like, yeah, this guy isn't it. We're going to have to pull the plug on it. And they spent the money to cut him loose, right? And people will laugh and say, oh, look at that, they're spending money. They spend money to get Ashworth out, and they're spending even more money to get rid of him. It's like, well, yeah, what's better? Paying money now to fix the problem that could save you spending hundreds of millions of pounds, yeah, and wasting it. I'm much more susceptible to believing that maybe we should save that money, that hundreds of millions of pounds that would be spent poorly, rather than spending the couple of millions now to fix the problems, to fix the mistakes. So, yeah. Casemiro out, keep Mavis from the kitchen. Yes, Mount can have some kind of reputation. Casemiro, no. Well, redemption. Well, the thing is, right, is I can see a player like Mason Mount getting the boot very, very quickly. I can see him really getting the boot because he's not got star power, right? He's not got star power to him. He's not got a range of development, right? He can't fill out as a player. This is essentially the best version of Mason Mount, right? That we're probably going to see in a Manchester United shirt, and that was signed for 50 million. 50 million. So yeah, but yeah, I think Ineos will absolutely They'll pull the plug on that. And another thing, another player that Ashworth wanted to bring in, Jared Branthwaite. That's they're incessant about, oh, 70 million pound Jared Branthwaite, but we will yeah, we really want Jared Branthwaite, but we'll have to get that money down a little bit. And whilst I absolutely agree, you should get the money down, but at the same time, Jared Branthwaite, he's not worth that. He's not worth that at all. That's why Ineos and Omar Barada looked at that deal and thought, well, there's so many different players you can go out there and get that are better quality for similar money, if not less. So that's what you should be looking at, not this. Yes, you still paid over 50 for Yoro. That deal was before Ashworth, was it not? The thing with the Yoro deal is that it's staggered payments. So the collective deal is more to secure the potential player, but the staggered payment structure meant that we're not paying everything up front now, so it doesn't necessarily read as massive hits. And especially if it doesn't work out, pay the rest off to Lille, and then bring in the profits that you can get if you end up selling them on. Furs, if Amorim doesn't get backed and has to keep some of these bums, do you see Amorim wanting out? Well, if the club don't back him, then yeah, he'll walk out. Shouldn't have the number 7 jersey at United or any time. Yeah, that the number 7 was the biggest PR disaster in Manchester United history for me. Literally, the number 7 shirt from Mason Mount, because he was the marquee signing and the club were desperate to give the number 7 shirt to somebody. Worst number 7 of any club in history. Big up, Fuzzy. Big ups to Stephanie Griffith. Good to see you. Hope all is well with you. When I mean backed, I mean as fully as Amorim would like. Well, I think Amorim's not going to get absolutely everything that he could possibly want, but he will get everything that he will not be disappointed with. And I think that's they understand, the board understand. That's the sort of relationship you got to build with a manager or your head coach, right? Your head coach, give the players that you know will benefit the manager, right? And that's where it's important to be in sync with the guy, right? Unlike previous regimes they couldn't give a fuck about being friends with the manager or understanding the manager, right? Or getting to know the manager. Oh, what sort of football would you like playing? I like playing this style. Okay. Well, there's loads of profiles of players that I think would fit this system really well. What do you think of these guys? Yeah, I like those guys. Hey, all right, there we go then. Bring them in. Previous board ownerships that we had wouldn't have done that. If Amorim did walk out, what a fucking mess. Yeah. If Amorim walked out, the club would be finished. Fuzz, you're not even moaning. You just know United are better than this trash you've seen lately. Yeah, I know I know that we should be considerably better. But for me, the anger was sort of like the days of Moyes and Van Gaal, and it's like it's kind of like the same sort of anger that we're seeing with City fans at the moment when they're not winning their games. You know, it's like, oh, we're in crisis every single week, except you're gradually declining over time. It's like, yeah, Man City know what it's like. When you reach the mountaintop, the come down, you never want it to happen. And when you start to see it happen, you absolutely lose your shit with it. Where you been, Steph? Don't worry. Been holding down the fort for you. All right, people. We'll call it a day there. Do be sure to check back in tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Another episode stuck with this guy's sibling, right? The not so blended, mashed up version of the early fuzz hot door sibling. But we'll be back tomorrow to discuss the weekend's proceedings, and yeah, of course, then after that we'll have Thursday night football in the Europa League. Hopefully, we win that game, and we've got something to talk about, positive at the very least, and yeah, the match reaction following the game on the Thursday night, plus then the preview for the weekend's game against City. I think it's on the Sunday. Um, we'll do that on the Friday. I think we'll do it on the Friday, and then of course we'll be at the weekend. So looking forward to things. Hope everybody's enjoyed the stream. Yeah, when you have grown up on traditions on and winning, demanding the best from players and the club, and winning it is frustrating to see it all go down the drain cheaply. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. The come down, we've just reached base camp. Well, we're going up the mountain, right? We're sort of not reached the first camp where they'll give us a map, right, to go the rest of the way. We're sort of figuring out where to find the first camp. Once we get there, I think we'll be fine. So yeah. But anyways, big ups to everybody that's watched and that smashed a like and also subscribed. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and your feelings about the game on Thursday night in the comments section, as well as the other topics that we've discussed, about your feelings about the situation with the director of football, with Dan Ashworth leaving, with the potential future in that side of things, the players that we're seeing being put up for sale, Rashford being linked with exits, Dalot with Real Madrid, Garnacho could potentially face a really bad situation. Um, Martinez being linked today, and Anthony and Ericsson facing the boot in January transfer window. So yeah, big ups to everybody. Thanks for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday nights, and we'll see you again tomorrow. And once again, thanks for watching. Take care, and we's outskis. We outskis.